Hi guys, so I'm back again with another video, and this video is what we discussed in the first video about the 5 books. So this is one of the books that we discussed in the first video. The first one that we discussed was Anne Frank, and this is the second one which I'm going to discuss a little in detail. So this is by Jean Sasson, and the name is Ester's Child. So let me just give you a brief about this book. This is a fictional piece. All the characters are fictional, but all these characters and all the events which are mentioned in this book they are those events which actually happened. So few events happened during World War II and few after that, and it's a very intriguing book which is divided into 3 parts. It is Ester's Child because Ester is one of the protagonists in this entire book, as Ester and Ester's husband are actually the main protagonist of this book, around which this book is written. And this is my most favorite book till date. I have actually not read such a piece. Like, it is actually a piece of art and a great imagination, and this book is really amazing. So if you are someone who has a lot of interest in modern world history, and also if you have a lot of interest in culture and art, this book is going to amaze you, really. I've read it like twice or thrice in last 4 years. I got it in 2018, and this might not be available in Indian subcontinent, because when I was looking for this book, this was not available, so I had to get it from US. So I asked someone to get it for me from US. So you might have to check, maybe you might get a Kindle version now. I'm not very sure because I got this copy in 2018. So now, coming back to the point, to the main point, this book is divided into 3 parts, and the prologue actually starts somewhere around January 1948, where they show Esther and Esther's family, and they are now in Israel, newly formed country, newly formed state now after the World War is over, and the Jews have actually come to the Middle Eastern part and reclaimed their territory. And then it just goes back to the year 1938 to Paris and Warsaw. So now it basically talks about 4 years. It starts from 1938, and this is the first part, which starts from 1938 and ends in 1942. So it talks about a girl who's from Poland, Warsaw, who is a Jew and a very traditional Jew, and also about a guy, Joseph, who is from Paris, again a Jew, but not at all traditional. In fact, their family consider themselves more of a French descent. They are not from French descent, but still the family considers them to be like that, and not so much of a Jew. So they are not very traditional. In fact, they are not at all traditional. Anyway, this girl is Esther here, and she is visiting her aunt in Paris, though she's from Warsaw. And they met and they fell in love, and that's it. And they decided to get married. So they got married somewhere in 1938 or early 1939, just a few months before the war broke, actually. So the war broke in September 1939, the World War II. Now the thing is, it actually talks about how, the war breaks, and at that point in time they were not in Paris, they were in Warsaw only, because Esther was expecting her first child, and how Esther's father, who was very traditional Jew, who had a great business in Warsaw, had to wrap up everything, and how they had to move to ghetto, and how difficult life was for them. And somehow part 1 ends at 1942. So they have definitely spoken about few family members which went missing, or who died till 1942. But then it also leaves room for a lot of questions, because this part 1 is not ending at 1948 or 1945. It's ending in 1942 and leaving a lot of questions. And that's really intriguing. The format, the way this book is written, is very intriguing. Now cut to, we are directly in sorry, just a minute. Now cut to, we are directly in 1952, my bad. Yeah, now we are directly into 1952, and now they are showing an Arab family who had to leave their city, and they had to move to Lebanon because of course Israel had taken over their area. So now they are in Lebanon, and they are just moving from place to place, and they have become refuge. So at some point in time they were really, you know, a known family, and they had a lot of credentials. And here the main person of the house, like the head of the house, was a teacher, so he had a very good job at that point in time. But because Israel was swarmed on their land, so they just had to, you know, leave everything behind one night and had to move away and move to Lebanon actually. And then there's the wife, and there's the son, and there's grandfather also, and there are a few other Arab families also who are now, you know, refuge in those camps. So now they are now they have shown a 30 years journey of an Arab family which is dislocated, and they started from Lebanon, some small camp, then they moved to Beirut, and they may move to Shatila camp, which in itself is a known place. It is still there, and a massacre also happened during this time, somewhere around 1980-81 itself. I'm not sure about the year, so that you can check. So everything is mentioned in detail, very much detail in this book, that how that Arab family struggled, and they could never get the kind of standard of living. They could actually never reach even to, you know, 10% of the life they had here. They could never build a home or something like that, and they left a beautiful house behind everything. But uh, by but the son was very talented, and he ended up becoming a doctor. And then he started looking after the refugees, and there were a lot of wars going on at that point in time also, and Russia was at war, and then Israel was at war, and everything was coming down to Middle East and Beirut and everything, so it was a center point. So this book talks about all that, and the second part is pretty long. And now this doctor, who is an Arab guy, is dating a German girl. Okay, and he used to date someone else, and so he has a love story also, and there's a lot that you can read. And then this is where it ends, where his parents actually, they pass away in Shatila camp because of the massacre, and now he moves to US. Yes, he moves to US, and his girlfriend also moves to US, so they move to New York. And the part three starts. It's only 1 year apart, which they have shown from 1982 to 1983, like the author has written about. Now he's there, his girlfriend is there, both are doctors, and they end up meeting. But you know, they don't have a very good relationship, like they are more of friends than girlfriend boyfriend. And then they end up meeting you know, different people. So the German girl falls in love with another guy who's a Jewish guy who's there in New York, and this Arab guy also falls in love with a Jewish girl who's there in New York. And later they get to know that, you know, those the one they have fallen in love are related by blood, they are brother and sister. And then, you know, then all the events unfold, and they get to know that how that Jewish family is related to that Arab guy. I'm not going to reveal a lot of details here because that's like the main thing in this story. And then how that Arab guy is actually related, and how that Jewish family is actually also they also know that German girl's father, and that German girl is now dating their son, and his father was SS guard who was involved in wiping out half of their family. So it is that intriguing. And then that Jewish family and German family end up meeting, and then there's another story with that Arab guy, and it's a lot of chaos, and in the end everything comes together, and it's a beautiful story. It's a beautiful story. You should definitely read it. This is like if I have to give it a rating, it's not even 10 on 10, it's 11 on 10, that I can tell you. So yeah, this is the book, and it's It's a huge book. Like it has some 450 pages, actually 445 pages, and very intriguing. So trust me, once you will pick this book, you cannot keep it down before you end up reading it all. So yeah, this is a definite read, and this book is definitely not for the weak-hearted. But this book also is not very, though it talks about a lot of difficult situations and it's very gloomy. uh, Basically, you know, whatever happened during World War II and the aftermath of the surviving family is anyway very gloomy. Okay, so this is what this book talks about. Nothing is sugar coated in this book, but because the end is such, it is nice and it's unexpected, and it's really nice, so that will take off all your sadness and it will give you a lot of curiosity rather than sadness. So this is a book which is not very heavy also, so you should definitely give it a try. I'll see you in the next video. Take care. Bye bye.